What is it do you like about Coke?
I love the smell of it.
Is raw. It's raw every goddamn year.
Yes,
Serving raw, goddamn it.
Subscribe to Serving It Raw and let's keep it
all the way funky, uncut, raw. Serving it raw just like my boy Gutter Kane.
Yes, Lord. You done tapped in the Serving It Raw podcast where the convo stays so raw it don't need no cut. I'm your host, Gutter Kane, the Gutter Man. And today, we got a special guest in the building. Hey, this artist right here been making waves with raw energy, 5 bars, and that unstoppable grind. Serving it raw, let's give a round of applause and show some love for the one and only VenomStayDrippin. What's good? How you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, hey, every day on this earth is, every time I wake up, man, you know, lovely day. It's a beautiful day out today, too.
Yes, it is. It's warming up here. I'm in Oklahoma. So are you in Oklahoma?
No, I'm actually in Washington State.
Okay. I was going to say, I didn't think you were from here, but I wanted to ask because I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know for sure. But yeah, so Washington, is it always warm up there? Or does it get cold too?
No, it gets cold. We get warm a little bit. It mostly rains majority of the time, though.
Right. Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know if you guys had like super bad winters because I know like West Coast usually stays on the warmer side. So
now I mean, it can get there.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. It's mostly just cold, but sometimes like depending on how bad it is, we get some snow, you know, shit like that. So we've seen a few, you know, a couple here and there, but you know, I ran across your music, and so you know, and I love the way you spit. I think everybody needs to check out your music. Everything that you got on Spotify, like I think you're a phenomenal artist. I think you're a real talented artist, especially for representing the females that's coming up. You know, and the fact that you're not doing the usual type of rap. It really has substance to it, and I think it's something I want to showcase today and let your fans that you already have and people that possibly run across your music, you know, really understand and show what you know what you bring to the table when we talk about hip hop. All right. All right. So first off, you know, I always start from the basics. So where are you from originally, you know, and what city and town raised you?
So I'm from the north side of Oklahoma City. I've been here my whole life. Yeah, I mean, always lived in the same spot. I was raised by my mom. My dad and her split up whenever I was young. I think I was like 1 whenever they finally got a divorce. But so she raised me on her own, and that's where I get my super independent, like strong female vibe from is my mama. You know what I mean? So yeah, Oklahoma City raised me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to OK. You know, it's crazy because when I was in the military, I actually I did my basic training out there in Oklahoma. I was at Fort Sill, yeah. So yeah, Lawton, Oklahoma. OK, yeah. So,
yeah, Lawton is a whole different world. I'll tell you that. I got love for my Lawton homies, but man, it's crazy out there.
Yeah, no, OK, man. You know, y'all do y'all thing in Oklahoma. I ain't even gonna lie, man. And so that name, VenomStayDrippin. Hey, your name is tough. And but what's the story behind it? Like, how'd you come up with that?
So everybody asks me this, and it's so funny because, you know, it's like dripping is a popular word now. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't whenever I made this name. So I was like 15 when I started rapping. VenomStayDrippin came from a line in a song that I did. I said something about like Venom stay dripping like acid rain or something like that. And I don't know what struck me to call myself that after I said that, but it's almost like it clicked and I never changed it. People have tried to get me to change my name. They say it's too long. They don't know how to spell it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if you can spell XXX Tentacion, you can spell VenomStayDrippin. Like, no excuses. So that's where it came from. And it kind of just stuck. I mean, most people just call me V, and I've thought about changing my name to shorten it for branding purposes, but it's like, that's who I am. You know what I mean? I can't change my name.
No, don't change it. It's unique.
Thank you.
It is really unique. Yeah, that shit caught me off guard. Especially when, well, I'll get to it, but I get when somebody a lot of people's favorite independent and you know, legendary rap artist you know, named you, said your name. I was just like, yeah, that name's cold in a motherfucker. So
Thank you. I'm glad that it comes off that way because I know I've gotten like really weird comments about my name, like, why does your name Venom Stay Drippin'? Is it because this? And it's like, just let me be me. You know what I'm saying? Don't add no extras on it. But people are gonna do that. It is what it is. I think it's a cool name too. My 15-year-old self thought it was a cool name, and I'm glad I stuck with it, to be honest with you.
yeah, hey, yeah, don't change it. And I also like the fact that you have it all together.
Yes,
You
same.
know, so there's no spaces for people out there that want to know. It's just one word.
I'm so glad you know that. You know how many times I've had to tell people that's not how you spell my name? Like, no spaces. It looks cool whenever it's all together. So I don't want it to be spaced out.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike. Now Mike Cole is your manager, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to him, man, because yeah, that was one thing he pointed out to me too. He was like, "Yeah, man, when I did your cover art for
Mhm.
the YouTube channel, once I posted, I sent it to him so that he could check it out, and he was just like, "I'm glad you put everything together." He was like, "Cause I guess that was an issue that y'all do have." So
Yes, all the time. Even whenever we tell people and correct them, they still mess it up. So it's cool. I appreciate you for taking the time to actually pay attention to that.
look, you're more than welcome. Now, before you ever started writing and recording, who were some of your early influences that really shaped your love for hip hop?
Man, so my brother's 10 years older than me. So I grew up listening to what he listened to. So it was Pac, Biggie, a lot of E40. Like he put me on the Sugar Free, like 8 years old. I shouldn't have no clue who Sugar Free is, but my brother listened to Sugar Free. And so I loved all that. And so really I give him the props for introducing me to hip hop music.
Okay.
But even before that, I've always been musical. My mom raised me on Al Green, Temptations, Aretha Franklin, Fleetwood
Okay.
Mac, Barry White, like all that. We listened to that every weekend when we clean the house. And so I've always had music in me. I've always been a dancer. Like before I started doing music when I was younger, before I tore my meniscus, I played soccer and tore my meniscus. So I'm no longer dancing like that, but I used to win talent shows. I used to sing, dance, do everything. Like I love music and it's always been a part of me. And so, my dad and my mom both knew I was going to be musical at a very, very early age. But whenever I heard, Biggie, Pac, especially Eminem, I stole my brother's Marshall Mathers LP and was listening to it in my little
Classic.
yeah. And I was like 8 or 9, 10, had no business listening to this shit, but I'm infatuated. I'm like, who is this angry man rapping about putting his baby mama in the trunk of a car? Like, who is this? And I felt it in my soul. I have no idea how I felt it at that young age because there's nothing I should have been upset about, but I was like, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? And so whenever I first started in music, I wanted to be a singer, but I was too scared to sing in front of people. So I was like, let me see if I can rap because I feel like rapping would be easier for me because it's not so vulnerable. And so that's whenever I really started diving into hip hop and I got into Brother Lynch and Tech N9ne and X-Rated. I was listening to them in my my little iPod shuffle on my way home from school every day. And then I found Zero, I found Trey, I found ABA.
Oh shit.
You feel me? So it's like, and I got One Deep tatted on my hands. It needs to be redone, but I love Zero. So I just soaked up game and soaked up music and especially, like all the classics and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I love all the classic hip hop artists, but that's not necessarily what shaped me into who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Tech, Eminem and Zero were like the top 3 artists I listened to for at least the first 5 years of my starting to rap, and Paul Wall and a lot of Southern stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
that's where I got my start from.
Okay. So you well rounded. Like okay. Like
Yeah.
okay. It's just it's actually very rare that you find an artist like that that
Mhm.
just has an all around body of work that
Yeah,
they love. Um. One thing that I wanted to let people know you do sing.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So people, yeah, that was another thing that caught me too. The fact that you rap and sing,
Mhm.
and so I love how you have that combination of stuff. Actually, kind of reminds me of Zero in a sense.
And that's exactly where I have to give him his flowers. You know what I mean? He helped me find that medium, you know what I'm saying, where you can like melodically rap, you can really sing, you can do all of these things in one song. It doesn't have to be a love song. It doesn't have to be this. He took love songs and turned them into songs about doing hella shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I give him his props on that because he really influenced me on the way that I implement singing into my songs. If it's not just an R&B song, you know what I mean?
Got it.
So
Shout out to Ro. Shout out to Ro and whole one
yeah.
beat. Now, you took home the 2021 Tishay Award for Female Artist of the Year.
I did, yes.
Salute to that.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, how do you personally set goals for your career, and how do you measure your success?
Ooh, how do I set goals for myself? I just want to do better than I've done. So everything I put out, I want to do something better than that. I want to top that. You know what I'm saying? I'm my own competition. I don't look at other people as competition. I take everything in as inspiration and motivation to want to do better. That came with a lot of healing and learning emotional intelligence. But I just want to be a better person than I was yesterday every single day. That's literally it. And wherever life takes me, wherever I'm supposed to go is where I'm going to end up. I don't have obviously I want to be the best artist, not even female artists. I want to be one of the top 10 best artists of all time by the time I die. But if I can change people's lives like I've already been doing, that's good enough for me. I'm serving my purpose and I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, as long as if my music helps other people, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Gotcha. I feel like you're definitely going to be one of the artists that's going to be, when you talk about the different, states and the different cities, you're definitely going to be one of those artists out of OKC. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I get my flowers out here. You know what I'm saying? People really fuck with me and it's lovely. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. And, we have a lot of dope talent out here that doesn't get recognized. And I want to be part of the process of changing that. You know what I'm saying? I want people to be heard out here. They deserve that.
Well, I can say so far, based off this interview, I love your energy. Your personality is also very likable. So yeah, I think the way that you handle a lot of there's a lot of things that I pay attention to. So I obviously I do my research before I set up interviews, and so I watch how like different videos that you might have posted on Facebook or Instagram and stuff like that. And I noticed that you have no problem with showing love to other artists, as well as being around the smallest fan to the biggest fan. And so I just want people to also know that you have like a big personality, like a big hearted personality. And I think that's really gonna get you far, especially as an artist as well. So
thank you. Yes. A lot of that goes to Mike, my manager, and his wife Shannon, my other manager. Like, before I met them, I was really lost, really angry, used to be in my ego real bad. You know what I'm saying? And then I met them and they were on their journey to being better people, and it really changed my perspective on life. Also, King ISO. I don't know how much you know about him or how much you fuck with his music. But
no, I know King ISO.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say he does well. I believe I don't know how much music they've done, but Swisher Sleep up here.
Oh, I fuck with Swisher Sleep. Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah, up in Seattle. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I started fucking with ISO in the beginning. Like, he was still homeless. He was on brain sick. He was wilding, you know what I'm saying? And so I watched him grow as well. And so it's like, okay, if I'm going to kick it around these people that I love so much, I can't keep being on the same shit that I was on. I got to change too. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to keep going where they're going because I love them and I believe in them just as much as they believe in me. So having people around me that is in a better mind space or wanting better for themselves is what helped me become a better person. Because I didn't always used to give love to people. I didn't always used to want to kick it and talk to people. And I know I come off as like really standoffish sometimes, but it's only because I'm protecting my energy. Once you really get down and, get to talk to me and stuff like that, I'm always going to show you love. I'm always going to listen to what you got to say. Like, people open up to me all the time and like tell me their life story. And it's like, okay, it's hard to hear sometimes, but this is my purpose. So I'm listening. I'm going to tell you what you need to know if I have something to give from that. You know what I mean? But it wasn't always like that. You know what I mean? I came a long way. I used to be very angry at the world for a long time. So I appreciate you giving me my flowers about that, because I have worked really hard to get here and be a better person.
Hey, well, it shows, and I want you to continue to be that person and continue to grow.
Thank you.
Um, let's talk about your latest album.
Okay.
Hold on, how you say it? I,
So people say it differently. Like some people say symbiote, I say symbiote, so I call it symbiote. It's called
Symbiote,
symbiote.
okay.
Yeah.
I, what inspired the vision behind that project? I would most likely say Venom the Marvel.
Yeah.
Or hold on, is Venom Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure. I don't want to piss any DC and Marvel people off and stuff that's really big into that, but I'm pretty
Right.
sure it has something to do with that. So, but what inspired your vision behind that project?
So that's a good question. Really, I struggle with naming albums and I'm like, okay, what's a cool name that has a meaning behind it? And I was like, cool, Symbiote sounds dope because I don't think anybody's dropped a project or anything like that called Symbiote. So like a
No.
symbiote in the Marvel universe, and I'm probably saying this all wrong too. I love Venom, but I'm not a super fan like that. So it's like I might say something wrong. So please don't kill me in the comments. But so
Yeah.
I named it Symbiote because what a symbiote is it is an alien entity that it needs a host to survive. So
Yes.
like Venom could be a female, a male, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's kind of like what I was channeling my energy into this album is like masculine energy, feminine energy, both of them at the same time. And so that's where I got the name from because I have a lot of singing, I have a lot of like lovey songs, but I also have a lot of hard shit on there too. So it's like I wanted something that made sense that wasn't just a name, but also something that was like easy to remember in one word. So that's where I came up with that from.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think the concept of it, I definitely like the concept of it. The whole thing, the way how you Venom with the Marvel, keeping it. Yeah, so I get, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Yeah. Out of all the tracks on it though, which one is your favorite? Which one is your personal favorite and why?
So my personal favorite would probably be Love Always V. That's a song that I wrote unintentionally in the beginning. So when I was writing before I knew it was going to be a song, I was writing a letter to my inner child as a healing exercise.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's really deep. So I was writing a letter to my inner child as a healing exercise. And I was like, okay, while I'm sitting here doing this, let me turn this into a song. So the first verse is me writing to my inner child, me talking to my inner child. And then the second verse is my inner child talking to me as an adult. So I know that's, if you go listen to it now, it'll make sense. But I also wanted to write it in a perspective of me talking to you or me talking to somebody else to where it's like, I'm telling you, like, I'm giving you affirmations. I'm giving you, like, you got to love yourself. You got to look at yourself every day. Like, you got to heal. You got to heal. You know what I mean? And just explaining to them and kind of like a hug in a song, if that makes sense. But it was a really healing song for me because, I mean, I cried while I wrote it. I cried while I recorded it. I'm sure there's some parts in that song where you can really hear that I'm trying not to cry. So it was a really good song. And it helped me a lot, and I know it helps other people. I get compliments on that song all the time. It's the last song on the project.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm letting you know right now. I'm not the type of person that brings up any trauma or any past things like that. So I would never bring it up. But I always tell my guests that if they choose to talk about it, while we're within the interview,
Yeah.
you're more than free to do that. But I would never bring up that. I never like to live off my guests'
Yeah.
pain and trauma and stuff like that. So
Right. No, I feel
yeah.
you. Nothing like super crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just I've dealt with being a kind-hearted person my entire life. And this is what kind of made me bitter before I started changing and becoming this person again. I had to gain the strength to be this person regardless of how I receive love in return. And so I've always been a very giving person. I lacked boundaries. I've been used a lot, taken advantage of a lot. Obviously, being a female in this industry has taken a toll on me. I've never been like, nothing crazy happened. However, if I didn't have that toughness in me to stand up for myself, that could have been a different story. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I've been in situations where I felt, really uncomfortable around men in this industry, especially when I was young. When I was like 15, 16, I had grown men trying to get at me and on some weird stuff. But thankfully my cousin Savros was still alive at that time, and he always came with me to the studio, and my brother would go with me. And, whenever I started feeling uncomfortable, I had those people that would help me feel safer in that environment. But yeah, life has just been tough for me, you know what I mean? And I had to learn how to not be a people pleaser and not be overly like extensive of myself to help other people when I couldn't even help myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of my pain and my anger and frustration came from, was like, why don't people love me like I love them? And instead of continue, it's real, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that shit is hard, especially if it happens over and over and over and over, you know what I mean? So you got to kind of realize this is a pattern. I need to start kicking it with better people. I need to start expecting more from people, or not accepting as little from people, you know what I mean? And so that's where a lot of my pain and frustration came from. My dad wasn't around when I was a kid, and I didn't get a relationship with him until I was an adult, which I'm glad I have now. I love my dad. He's great. Me and him are like best friends now. But when I was younger, I didn't have my dad around, so didn't feel like I was enough then. I've never felt good enough up until the last, I don't know, year and a half or 2 years, because I had to learn how to love myself. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a hard process. If you don't know how to love yourself, it's a hard process. It is. And it's not perfect every day, but it's definitely difficult.
What type of things do you do for that?
I like to write down what's bothering me. And then like, in a list form, right? I like to write down what's bothering me and what I'm upset about. And then right next to it, I like to write something I'm grateful for. So it's like, I'm getting rid of those negative thoughts by replacing them with something positive, and replacing them with something that helps me remember my life is not as bad as I think it is.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So it helps me understand my worth a little bit better, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things that I do. Mostly I like to write music whenever I feel that way, because it helps me get it out. You know what I mean? That's my therapy. I've never seen a therapist outside of like getting diagnosed with anxiety and depression and shit like that. And but that's my therapy. That's where I talk about my problems, is in music. Okay.
Do you have any other hobbies besides music?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I paint. I don't know if you can see it from here. I don't know. Let me see. I painted that Akasha up there.
Oh shit. Hold on. Is that Aaliyah?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's from
yeah.
What's
Queen of the Dam.
Yeah, Queen of the Dam.
Yeah, I paint. I used to have a cake business before COVID happened. So I decorate cakes. But when COVID happened, it kind of slowed it down. So I got into the marijuana industry. But yeah, I have lots of hobbies. If it's artsy, I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Okay, you multi-talented.
Yeah.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
You're Sag.
All three. My sun, moon, and rising is all Sagittarius.
Oh man. All right. Let me kind of switch gears on this one, because this one right here, I definitely want to get your intake and your on this one. Okay. Tech N9ne, one of the GOATs, mentioned you and your artistry on the interview on Off Da Porch. Shout out to Off Da Porch.
I'm checking out this female artist right now. Her name is VenomStayDrippin. Man, she's treacherous. She can sing, she can rap. She got rhythm to a T.
Yeah.
She's already with my artist, King ISO, you know what I'm saying? He has a subsidiary called Be Well, and she's a part of it.
Okay.
You feel me? VenomStayDrippin. Dope. You're gonna hear us on a song.
She got a dope ass name.
Elite artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Elite artist. When you see her, you're like, damn, that's VenomStayDrippin?
Huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like crazy.
But how did it feel hearing that kind of recognition from a legend like Tech N9ne?
I'm gonna keep it 100% real with you. Whenever that dropped, one of my homies on Facebook commented on my post, and this is one of my shit talking homies who be saying wild shit all the time. So I did not believe him. when he was like, hey, Tech mentioned you in this interview. I'm like, he full of shit. And I'm sitting here like, I'm wasting my time trying to skip through this interview just to see if he's lying. Cause obviously I'm gonna watch the whole thing anyways, but I don't want to sit there with that anticipation the whole time if it's not gonna happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like skipping through, trying to figure it out. Took me 10 minutes to find it. When I see it, I scream because I'm like, there's no fucking way that shit happened. And my nephew's in the other room playing Fortnite, and he came in the room and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, Tech N9ne just mentioned me in his interview. He's 10. He don't have a fucking clue who Tech N9ne is, right? He don't fucking know. I mean, he listens to him because I listen to him, but he doesn't know how dope that is. You know what I mean? And so I'm tripping. I'm calling my mom. I'm calling my brother. I'm calling everybody because I'm like, yo, look, this just happened. Tech is a wonderful person, bro. Like, I've kicked it with him twice now. Like, I met him in 2021. I want to say it was 2021. Yeah, it was January of 2021 when I went out there to record a song with King ISO, the bonus track for Get Well Soon. It's called Crazy. I went out there to record that. Tech was there. He came in and listened to my song with ISO, and he was tripping. He was like, this shit goes crazy. Okay, 5 minutes after he leaves the studio, I look at my phone. He's following me on Instagram. So I'm like tripping, right? So all of these things that have happened, I've been tripping every single time. It never gets old. But when Tech mentioned me on that interview, that shit was insane to me. I was like, there's no fucking way this is real. I couldn't even believe that. I'm like, did he really just say my name? You know what I mean? It's almost like you can't internalize that. Like, it's like you can't believe that happened. You know what I mean? Because that's my favorite rapper of all fucking time. Like, I have Strange Music tattooed on my arm. First,
there you go.
You feel me? I got this when I was freshly 18. Okay, first tattoo ever. I've loved Tech from the beginning, and so it's just weird to me that shit happened. I don't even know how to explain it. It's crazy.
He made sure that like that you knew it was you.
Yeah.
That's
he
what I
said
like.
My name 3 times.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I've always heard Tech, was a straight, like, a down to earth person. Like, I always heard he was good. Redman is another person just off the top that they said, and stuff like that. A few other ones like Devin the Dude, but yeah, I heard Tech a down to earth, nice dude. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what. Yeah. So when he mentioned you, I was just like, damn. Like, I just can't even imagine, like, where you was with that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that shit is wild to me. It really is. And not only did he mention my name, but he was like, you're gonna see us on a track real soon. I'm like, that's how much you believe in me? Like, come on, bro. That's crazy, But before that happened, I had the pleasure of hanging out with him. He came down here. I can't remember when it was. It was sometime this year. I think it was April. He came down here, and I hit him up before the show. I was like, I really don't want to do this because I don't want to seem like I'm being desperate about kicking it with him or like, getting the 5 minutes of his time. But, he's been commenting on my stuff talking about, we're going to work real soon. We're going to work real soon. I'm like, okay, you miss every shot you don't take. Okay. So I messaged him on Instagram. I'm like, hey, I just want to chop it up with you for a minute after the show if you have time. And he didn't respond to me. And after the show, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning, I'm in bed. And I look at my Instagram. He responded to me. He was like, damn. He was like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm tired of fucking missing you every time I'm in town or it just don't align. He was like, here's my number. Or no, he asked me for my number. Wait, no, he gave me his number. I texted him and he called me. And he was like, what are you doing tomorrow? I got a day off and I'm going to be in OKC. He was like, do you want to come see a movie and get dinner? And I was like, bet. So we went and saw Sinners, which is a dope ass movie, by the way.
Yes, Lord.
Love all of the musical shit in that movie. Amazing. But I got to sit down and, eat dinner with him and talk to him for like, I think it was like an hour and a half in the hotel lobby at his hotel. Just, he asked me about my life, wanting to get to know me. Like, it was a really dope conversation. He put me on a lot of game, gave me a lot of advice, listened to some new music, and he was just like a really cool person to kick it with. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like I was sitting in front of a fucking person who had been on Forbes list, who hella platinum shit. You know what I'm like, a millionaire. I didn't feel like that. I felt like I was talking to a homie or somebody like a uncle or something like that, giving me advice about shit. You know what I mean? It was really, really dope.
Cause I was gonna ask you, did you feel like any pressure? Like,
obviously it was a little bit nerve-wracking because that's my favorite person ever. You know what I mean? But he didn't give the vibe of like he's Tech N9ne. You know what I mean? He was himself the whole time. Like he was just like a normal person. And I don't know, there's something about him. Like I read energy very well, and there's just something so sweet, and like you can just see the kid in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see the innocence in his face, and I can tell like he's always talked about his issues and stuff like that, but you can just tell that he's a good person by his energy, but also by the way that he really cares about and how he's like really connected with you whenever he's talking to you. You know what I mean?
Tech gives me a he doesn't have a problem with helping the next person.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's only a few people that's like that. You have a lot of people that when you reach out to them for like an alley hoop on something, you know, they'll be like, oh, you got to get it the way I got it, or you got to figure it out like how I figured it out. And I just feel like I'm not gonna say I feel. I feel, but based off of what people have told me about him, he has no problem with helping you.
No,
he doesn't. And so that's one thing that I feel like is which makes him, you know, such a great not just a person but a great artist. And I feel like independent wise, I feel like you kind of see that as well. You know, he's a person that out of all the artists that he's had, either like on Strange now or it just come through, I never heard anybody say anything bad about him.
No, I haven't either. I know that there's been a lot of like issues with Strange in particular. You know, you've seen interviews with like Cut Calhoun and shit like that about like the issues overall. You know what I mean? And I think that comes with just signing to a label in general. But nobody's had a bad word to say about Tech. And I can tell you firsthand, I don't see how they could. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a good person. He just is, you know.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to give a shout out to Tech N9ne. And I'm glad that he mentioned you because you are a person that definitely needs to be on these people radar. So, and I'm glad he was, you know, hell, I was able to get on it. Now, this is a question I got to ask everybody. This is probably my most difficult question. I say my most difficult question. But I got to ask this. Who's your top 5 favorite rappers of all time? I'm pretty sure Tech and RAW going to be on there, at least them two.
Yeah, for sure. So like that's ever changing for me, but like I'll say my top 5. It's just so hard to pick top 5. I don't know, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so Tech.
Okay.
And this is in no order besides Tech. Obviously, Tech is 1, but other than that, the other 4, there's no specific order. I really love J. Cole.
Shut up.
J. Cole has so many dope songs. Oh my gosh, every song that I've heard from J. Cole, I don't think I've heard a bad verse from him. Obviously, I gotta say Pac, just because Pac is that dude. I don't care. I understand. Everybody has their opinion, but I love Pac. Eminem.
All right.
I
think there's one more.
And it's so hard for me. I can't pick another one, but if I had to pick off of like just how I feel right now, I'm gonna say Kendrick because I love Kendrick, and I cannot say a bad thing about Kendrick Lamar.
That's a solid 5.
I wish he would drop more, but what he's dropped has been solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Lord.
Obviously, I love everybody. It's like me. I can't pick a favorite color. I don't fucking know. I love everything equally. So it's like I just love music. You know what I mean? But that would be my top 5 for now. Now that may change in the next month or two. It just depends on what I'm listening to. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel right now.
Well, before we wrap up, what's next for Venom Stay Drippin'? You got any new projects, tours, or collabs on the horizon we should be looking out for?
Yeah, so I'm working on a project right now. I'm working on Symbiote 2. Not gonna give you a release date yet because I don't know, but it is almost done. So that's dope. What else? I have a show in Kansas City coming up in November. I'm sure I have other shows before that, but I can't think of any because that's the most heavily promoted one right now.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're working on the tour for next year, but I don't have that set in stone yet. I was supposed to come out to Seattle, but that didn't work out. Unfortunately, it would have been dope to come out there. That was supposed to be on October 10th. So that would have been super dope. I got hella people out there that have been waiting on me to come out there. So hopefully we can make that happen soon. But other than that, yeah, I'm in studio and album mode. I'm trying to stay off my phone and social media and just work.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, hey, from Gutter Kane and CIRV'N IT RAW, I want to give you your flowers for everything that you have accomplished so far and everything that I know you're gonna knock out here. I want you to keep grinding. Anytime that you're in Washington State, make sure y'all, this is a safe space for you. So you can always hit me up. We can definitely, do this again. Anything that you're working on, anything you're promoting, you can just hit me up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a person that will help push your brand and help promote as well. Okay. So I want you to just know that anything you need from me, just hit me up and let me know, okay?
But yes, thank you so much for having me today. I really, really appreciate it. It was a good interview. I think this is probably my favorite one I've done so far.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was definitely excited. Like I said, I love your energy, man. I'm definitely looking to to do it again. Just to keep everybody up on what you're working on and what you're doing next. Okay. Let people people know how they can reach out to you if they want to hit you up for their features.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So right now it's all through my management. So any links that you like, any of my socials, like it'll link you to their email. So if you want to hit me up about doing a feature, you will eventually get to talk to me. However, you have to go through my managers first. So then that way they can handle everything and I can focus on what I need to focus on. But we'll talk, you know what I'm saying? I'll, get your ideas and what kind of concept you're looking for. I want that to be personable, but like I have to focus on being an artist and I can't do that if we're going back and forth all day. So that's the only reason that's there. I'm not being an asshole, promise. But you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Is it Twitter anymore? It's X. I don't even be on there. Everything is VenomStayDrippin. So yeah, all across the board, everything is VenomStayDrippin. And yeah, hit me up if you're trying to work. I also produce too. So if you need beats, let me know. Got you. But yeah.
Alrighty. Hey, I'm gonna have all that in the description, her Instagram and everything. Make sure y'all get y'all asses on Spotify and Amazon Music. Check out her project. Check out everything that she has on there. Like I said, you're a phenomenal artist. I love you. I love what you got going on.
I love you too. Thank you.
Yeah, I want you to keep grinding. And like I said, just anytime that you need me or, Mike can get in contact with me or whatever, however, any one of y'all can. So, and so if we need to do like a smaller interview for something that you're promoting, whether it's an album or a different type of avenue, just hit me up, okay?
Okay, bet. Yes, we're definitely going to have to do this again.
Oh, for sure. Big shout out to all my viewers and listeners for tapping in for another episode of CIRV'N IT RAW. I hope y'all enjoyed the ride. If you did, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and drop a comment below. Let us know what you think. You can catch me on all our favorite streaming platforms, and we'll be back with another 5 episode. And until then, enjoy your weekend and stay solid. Thank you. Peace.
I'm serving it raw. I'm serving it raw. I'm serving it raw. I'm serving it raw.